I'm Erin.
And I'm Jess.
And this is Nature Nuts.
Nature Nuts.
Welcome back to Nature Nuts. In our last video, we talked about frogs. This week, we're going to be talking about another amphibian called salamanders. Have you ever seen a salamander before?
Salamanders are kind of like lizards, but there's some key differences between the two. For one, lizards generally live in dry, warm places. And also their skin is scaly and dry to the touch. Now salamanders, on the other hand, they like to live in darker, wetter places, and their skin is moist and smooth to the touch, similar to a frog or another amphibian.
Here in the Appalachian Mountain Range, we have a lot of salamanders. In fact, we have more different kinds of salamanders than anywhere else in the world. West Virginia alone has 34 species or different kinds of salamanders. That's a lot. Here at the Botanic Garden, we have a ton too, so let's go try to find some.
Here at the Botanic Garden, we have a lot of woodland salamanders. That means they live in the woods, and you often find them under kind of old logs that are on the ground like this. Before you look for one, I want to show you the right way to look. So what you want to do is turn the log and make sure you're turning it so it's facing away from you. Just in case something's underneath the log that might want to jump out, you want to make sure it's not going to jump right into your face. Then you can look and, oh look! Oftentimes we don't pick them up, but I can show you. I found a redback salamander. This is the most common type of salamander you'll find in West Virginia and actually in the whole eastern part of the United States. If you were to feel this, you would feel that it's slimy. It has water on its skin, and that's because it's lungless. It actually breathes through its skin, and its skin needs to be moist in order to breathe. That's why you find them under these logs where it's wet and underneath the leaves where it's always wet. Now, I'm going to put him back, but what you need to do first is put the log back, and then you can put the salamander next to the log. If you don't pick it up, you just want to make sure that the salamander is away from the log before you roll it back so you don't squish it. And it's very important to put the salamander back right where you found it because they're actually territorial. This is its home, and it will live here its entire life. And if you put it back somewhere else, it'll be really confused. So make sure you put the salamander gently back right next to its log so it can go home.
Wow, it looks like we have another red-backed salamander here. Ooh, and he's squirming. Now these guys, what do you think they eat? Now, it might not look like it, but they're actually voracious predators. They eat anything that they can find underneath a log or in the leaf litter where they live, like little insects or ants or even bug larvae.
A slimy salamander. These are not as common, but we do find them here at the Botanic Garden. They are another woodland salamander, and they're called a slimy salamander because they have really, really slimy skin. So if you were to pick it up, you would get lots of slime on your skin, and that's a defensive mechanism to try to prevent from getting eaten. Now they're kind of like the redback salamanders, where they eat lots of insects that they might find in the leaf litter. You can see this one is definitely bigger, fatter than the redback salamander. And again, these salamanders are territorial, which means they'll actually fight other salamanders that come into their area. Crazy to think about a salamander fighting, huh?
Oh wow, it looks like we have a dusky salamander under this log. Now dusky salamanders come in a lot of different colors, so one way that you can tell that you have a dusky is that their back legs or their hind legs are a lot larger than their front legs, and they have a pale line that runs from their eye to their jaw.
So dusky salamanders are technically an aquatic salamander. That means that they can also live in the water. We did find this dusky salamander on the land, close to the water, and that's often where you will find them underneath logs. These salamanders are also lungless, which means they don't have lungs like you and I have in order to breathe. They actually have to breathe through their skin. So it is important that they stay wet all the time.
Now it looks like we have a red eft here. And a red eft is actually the juvenile stage of a red spotted newt. You can tell you have a red F because they have bright orange or reddish color with red spots on them. Now, red Fs actually have lungs, meaning that they can come on land and hunt during the day.
When the red F matures, it actually transforms into the red-spotted newt. At this point, it'll make its way to a pond where it changes color. It'll be more of a dusky green color with the red spots. It'll get a flat tail, and then it'll be aquatic for the rest of its life.
Well, we hope you had fun learning about salamanders today.
And remember, when you're out looking for salamanders, be considerate of the salamanders and their homes. So that means when you're turning the logs, make sure you always put them back where they were, and make sure that the salamanders are safe when you're turning that log back over. Also, try to stay on or close to the trails of the Botanic Garden so we can protect the places where all of these nature and wildlife live.
And as always, we'll see you next time on Nature Nuts. Bye! All right, let's see what we can find under this log. A ladybug, wow!